This is Chatai, the creator of PrimeFaces. In this tutorial, I would like to talk about what PrimeFaces Designer is and how to use it. So the PrimeFaces Designer is actually a SaaS-based theme engine. So it's based on variables. Actually, we have more than 500 variables. And instead of the old theme roller based engine, now we have rewritten it and created this designer from scratch to help you guys create your own Prime Faces themes easily. Up until now, we already have the premium templates and premium themes, but they are pre-designed. So now with the designer, it takes a different approach and lets you design your own themes, because many projects and many corporations, many companies have their own color schemes and their own corporate colors and things like that, right? So um, the one problem, actually, designer solves two problems. One problem it solves is that when a graphic designer or a web designer comes up with a new theme, they pass it to the developer, but the developers or the designers who code, let's say, have a hard time implementing that design into reality in the prime faces, because prime faces have their own APIs, and the CSS comes from the themes, the components, CSS, and so on. So the prime face designer makes sure that it's very easy now, and by defining variables and using a SAS-based syntax, it's quite easy. The second problem it solves is that even the theme is not created by a designer, a Java developer who doesn't have a lot of CSS experience can just easily create their own theme using just staying on the variable part. So it allows you to come up with themes very easily. So let's begin. So here we have the designer. It is actually shipped with a sample application called PrimeFaces Design. It is a Maven application. So if you're familiar with Maven, it's the regular Maven project. We are providing a couple of pages to view your components while you design it. So these are the pages like forms, messages, and we also have a facelets template here. So it's a demo application. Designer itself is here. There is this designer folder, buttons, data components, forms, icons, and everything are here. And this folder is for demo images and things like that. Layout folder is for the layout resources, images, scripts, and styles. And here is your theme. So a prime faces theme is created using the prime faces prefix, and my theme is the name of your theme. The fonts, by default, the designer uses Open Sans, but you can customize it easily. There's also documentation about it. The fonts SCSS is here, which defines the font face. Here we go. This is the variables. Now it has, let me just increase the font size. So it has close to 500 variables. Let's see, primary color of the theme, primary text color, font family, font size. The units are EM based, so you can easily customize the size of the overall theme. So for example, if you increase the font size to 16 pixels, everything will be slightly bigger. So now for inputs, we have inputs, background, color, borders. It's mainly paddings, margins, borders, backgrounds, and colors. So you can easily customize. For example, input lists. What can this be? It's actually the drop-down list, autocomplete lists, and so on, list boxes. So where the select items are styled. This is where the buttons structural CSS is. We also have included a couple of buttons with different severities, so and more like that. So here is the main SCSS file. It first imports your variables, then the fonts of the theme, the designer itself, which is from the designer folder, and your extensions. So extensions is here to make your overrides, to make your customizations easily. So we plan to update the designer constantly, frequently, to fix any potential defects and to improve the structure. So whenever you get the new version, the idea is that you just need to update this designer folder. Never edit anything here, and keep your extensions at extensions.css. So this will really make the maintenance easier. So this is, as I mentioned, this is a Maven application. If I run it, we should see at localhost 8080, there will be an application, so that this application is here, so you can view your theme using a sample application. So this is the designer, it's coming up. So we have the forms, data components, panels, overlays, and other components. The sample page just combines all of them on the same page, so you can have a better idea of that when different set of components are placed in the same page. So these are the forms, the data components, the mighty data table, and things like that. So as you've seen, there's a base theme with a blue color as its primary color, and it has a grayscale of headers and things like that. So let's go to the sample and make a customization on the theme. So I will change the primary color. For example, here, let's navigate to the variables, and I will pick this success button color as my primary color. So which is actually green, a shade of green. And let's see, there's also the hover version of this. And so I have picked the green as my primary color, and let's compile the Sass. So the theme is now generated. So the theme.css file is here. So let's refresh the page. And now you see that we have a theme with everything is now using the green. So actually, these are just helpers. So the actual designer starts from here. These are just helpers. So you may decide, so let's see where this primary color is used. For example, let's search it. So highlight background color means whenever something is highlighted, like the data selected row on a pick list, selected item on a drop down, we are going to use primary color. But you may just leave this primary color and choose any color of your choice. You may even do things like okay, I want a different shade of green on the data table, selected row, and different color on pick list. So you have full access to the source and variables, so it's easy to customize your preferences. So let's edit the headers as well. Header is like a panel headers, data table headers. There should be a variable here. Let's go to the panels. Panel headers. So panel header background color. Let's give this a darker tone, and the text color will be the white. And now my headers, all of my headers are darker, and the text color is white. So we also have things like, panel content borders, background colors. Every aspect, almost every aspect of the theme can be customized. Whenever something is selected, like on the pick list, you see that it gets the highlight background color here. style. So here at the data we have pick list. You now see that UI pick lists UI state highlight gets input list highlight background color. So what is it? It is actually a variable that maps to the highlight background color. What if you would like to do something like keep the background as white and you just want to add some border left? So here you can change it. So what we can do here is that you can, as I mentioned, keep your overrides at extensions. So what you can do is that you can pick this part here at extensions. The body is just there to make a more powerful CSS. So sorry. Oops, new Mac. Okay. So at here, I'm just overriding this behavior. So here, let's keep the background as, let's say, panel background color and panel text color. Let's see what we have as those colors. Oh, let's choose this one. Input content panel background color. So these are like inputs with panels. Okay. And the color is input panel text color. Okay, now I'm going to add what was that? Input list. So the background will be white and the color will be a shade of black, and we are adding a border left to the selected item. So let's see how it will be. Now you see we have changed the way a selected item is implemented for the pick list only, but the rest of the components will be the same. Okay, so now we have, so you would like to change the fonts. They're available here. So once you have your own font files, like let's say Roboto or whatever, in the documentation we are showing how to change the fonts to Roboto. So these are here. So what you need to do is that put your font files here in the fonts folder and define your font face with the name, and then you need to go to the variables, and here instead of open sans you need to give your own font file. If I change this one to 16 pixels, since everything is EM based, like paddings, margins, things will get bigger. Now we have bigger inputs, bigger data, so you can zoom in and zoom out using by changing the font size easily. Okay, so you have your own theme. Now how to put this into production? So the way to do it is there's a Maven plugin for this. And this plugin runs in the build profile. So the Maven assembly plugin will generate your own theme. Let's call it install profile build. At the target folder, there will be a new file. Yeah, this is the one, PrimeFaces my theme version.jar file. So this is your theme file, this one. Now, if you, to use this theme, you need to put this in the class path of your application, Of course, you may need to install it to your local Maven repository or so in your organization. And once this jar file is in the class path of your application, you just need to go to the web.xml and configure that using this context parameter called PrimeFaces.theme. It should be the name of your theme without the PrimeFaces prefix, because that prefix will be added automatically by the PrimeFaces. So in your application, the whole the PrimeFaces components will now use your new theme. So the nice thing about this, the theme generated by the designer, is that unlike the PrimeFaces core, it uses the border box sizing, so it's compatible with various CSS frameworks like Bootstrap and Zend or Semantic and others. So you may just combine them easily, which because since the PrimeFaces core is based on content box, there may be issues when you use the basic themes, but the ones generated by designer are really compatible with the CSS framework. Another advantage is that the designer themes use font icons, unlike the PNG image-based all icons of PrimeFaces core, so they can scale. They can adjust to different colors, so you can easily customize this fonts and the font icons, and they really look modern. Another aspect is that, as I mentioned, they are fully customizable, these themes. Various aspects like structures, colors, everything is really easy to customize. So you just need to go to the variables. So, and for example, here you can change the checkbox widths, checkbox colors. For every state, we have followed a pattern like the component, the state, which is active, hover, focus, and so on, and things like that. And for every component, we provide variables for borders, background colors, icon colors, and text colors. So you may just change these variables, or as I mentioned in the extensions, if you just need to change the way the design system works, you may just keep your overrides here. So that was it. That's it for this tutorial. I hope you liked it, and I hope you'll enjoy the PrimeFaces Designer API. Thank you.